Welcome to this review of Delacour Brandy. This was introduced in 1988, over 30 years ago, and it's a Luxco brand, which has been bought by Midwest Grain Products, so MGP brand. And this, if you look at this bottle design, this label design carefully, it might remind you of something, perhaps. VSOP Brandy, which means aged between 4 and 6 years, something like that. Very smooth, old pale. VS is your base brandy, that's usually about 2 years old, 2 to 4. And then your XO is 6 to 10 years. Napoleon Brandy just means it's fancy, but I got this for $11.99 a liter. This liter bottle was $11.99. I don't think it's too fancy. Bottled by Luxco Incorporated, St. Louis, Missouri. Notice it doesn't say distilled by, just bottled by. So I don't know who's distilling it for them. Delacour. No video reviews. This is the first video review for this brandy in the world. I noticed that Broussards, Muriel's, Galatoire's, and the Carousel Bar at the Hotel Montleone all offer happy hour drink specials using Delacour brandy. So it has a presence in New Orleans. Now whether it's well regarded, I don't know. It's probably inexpensive. That's why they're using it for happy hour. But they are showcasing it. They mention it. They don't just say "and some brandy." All 4 of those restaurants and bars mention Delacour specifically. So there could be something quality about it. In New Orleans, people tend to be kind of finicky and picky about things, so you would imagine you probably couldn't get away with serving some really, like Hartley brandy, for instance. This is a Spanish brandy from the door, from Spain. Ciroc VS. Maybe soon they'll be coming out with the VSOP. They gotta let it age. The VS is kind of new. Ciroc from France. Reynal from France. In England it's sold as 3 barrels, but there could be some kind of trademark issue here, so they sell it as Reynal, a family-owned company, brandy company. And there is more French brandy, cognac brandy, Martel VS. All right. Anyway, never had Delacour. I bought it at Savannah discount on Louisiana Highway 45 northbound in Marrero, Louisiana, about 2.5 miles south of United States Highway 90 business route, in case you want to know how to get there. If you're going east or west on US 90 business route, big freeway, elevated, just look for Louisiana 45, go south, and you're going to see it. You'll see it on the east side of the highway, and that's a 4-lane highway too, but you know, not an expressway. You'll see it. Savannah discount. Make the U-turn. Believe me, Robert the Whiskey Scout can tell you that. He said if I lived over here I'd go broke. He was amazed by Savannah discount. All right, so I've never seen this anywhere else, but it probably is probably around somewhere. Wouldn't matter, I'm not going to repurchase it. Try to do the long march through the brandy brands. Long march through the brandy brands. Brandy is made with grapes. It is a type of, like, what you'd say, think of whiskey, but whiskey made with wine grapes instead of grain. All right? And I think brandy's been around longer than whiskey. We know they were drinking wine in the ancient days of Mesopotamia, Persia, Babylon, Assyria, Syria, Egypt, Greece, Rome, and all of that. So, and then later in Scotland, whiskey came along, Scotland and Ireland. Where you say, well, maybe whiskey is brandy made out of grain instead of brandy being whiskey made out of grapes. Okay, maybe that's right. All right. Like many whiskeys, brandy can be colored with caramel coloring, so it could be the case that this is not really that tan. It might be a lot clearer, but they're coloring it. This I don't know, and they're not required to disclose that in the United States of America. Oh, fairly even alcohol legs, I have to say. Let's go with the nose. Never had it. Now, what are common brandies around here in southeastern Louisiana between Baton Rouge and New Orleans along the Mississippi River? Well, of course, Paul Masson is very popular. Christian Brothers is not super popular, but it has a following. E&J probably more popular. Well, probably rivals Paul Masson, so E&J, Ernest and Julio Gallo, that's pretty big. But the most popular brandy around here is obviously Hennessy. And that's a cognac brandy. It's much more expensive than the ones I just listed, but it doesn't matter, people buy it like mad. Courvoisier does well. The other ones, Micu and Languedoc, or whatever that one, I think it's Languedoc, well, you know, they just have a few people buying them. I plan to buy the Micu and the Landoc, that's what it is, Landoc. All right, and about 100 other brands. Okay, it smells like grape skin, so like if you get a good brandy that's not adulterated with flavoring, like the Hartley is obviously flavored. It's got this weird butterscotch candy flavor aroma, drizzled rum cake as the company calls it. It's like, I know they're adding something to this, probably trying to cover up some unpleasant cheapness. No, but this one is just kind of like a neutral aroma with grape skin. So think of like red grape skins, but I think they mostly use white grapes, but some of the brandies use a blend of red and white. All right. Nothing offensive. Some of these French brandies will have like turned fruit. It'll smell like fruit that's gone off. But this has nothing like that. Just straightforward, basic and simple. And for $11.99 a liter, you understand why that is. It's nougat, like you would get in the Three Musketeers bar. Nougat, a little chocolate, grape skins, some vanilla, little wine aspect, like Moscato wine, maybe, of some type of thing. A little bit of oak, because they're probably obviously aging it in oak somewhere in Kentucky. I would not be surprised if it was at Luxco or Heaven Hill or Glenmore or somewhere on. There's some sugar sweetness here. Medium body and a short to moderate finish. It doesn't drop off super quick, but it doesn't, it's like I say, it's short to moderate. There's no lingering thing. It's basic, it's dry really. The main feature here is it's dry. And there's a sweetness in the flavor, but the finish is very dry. And that's probably why they're using it in the milk punch and all these other ones that they're making over there at those places I named. That would be dry and would mix well. Okay, offensive aromas and flavors and strange mouthfeel and things like that. There is none. It's just straightforward. And if you read the Luxco website, they're pretty much saying that. They're saying it's something along the lines like it's a very competent brandy. It could do very well to make liqueurs. They're selling it as something for you at your home, perhaps to make a liqueur with. I don't know how you would do that necessarily, but that's what they're saying on the website for making a liqueur. And I think if you had, let's say, orange peel soaked in this for a month or two or half a year, that could be like a Grand Marnier type thing, or the one from Sazerac, well, it's their version of that, the orange liqueur, in the benchmark type bottle. No, the Barton, the very VOB, very old Barton, yeah, the VOB bottle. Yeah, so bourbon cream bottle. This is surprising in a way, because I was expecting it to be kind of lousy and shabby. I mean, $11.99 a liter. I thought, what's this going to be like? But okay, I can see why some pretty high. Well, if you go to Broussard's and when you get the bill, you'll see what I mean by hi hat or Galatoire's. Hope you got a good credit line, but you're going to need it. But I can see why they're using this. It's pretty nice. Kind of reminds me of the one I used to see, haven't seen it for years, used to see at Dornak's and apparently Sonora. Oh, Fury's had it. Beautiful Italian seafood restaurant. Was the VSOP Napoleon. French brandy, VSOP, with the gates on it and the fleur-de-lis. It's very inexpensive per liter. This reminds me of that, but I'm pretty sure it's sourced from two different places. But last assessment. It even has, almost was going to say coffee, but no, I don't think that's right. Well, okay. You could get Parmesan for $10.99 to $7.50, and Christian Brothers for $10.99 to $7.50, and E&J for $10.99 to $7.50. Or you could pay $1 more, in theory at least, because like I said, this is, the availability could be in question. Pay $1 more and get a liter of this, which I think this beats all of those. Well, obviously the VS version. Well, how does it do against the E&J VSOP? The blue label. Well, that's going to cost you, it's going to be more than 11. It's going to be about $13.99 for a 750. And I think this at least rivals it. And Christian Brothers VSOP also. And the Parmesan VSOP. So you're getting more, but it's on par with the other ones that you get less of. So yeah, there's the great advantage of this. So if you see Delacour, which apparently means like from the courtyard, and in the French Quarter of New Orleans, you would have a lot of drinking in the courtyards. So I would buy it. I would get it. I wouldn't hesitate. Even up to 12, I don't know if I go above 12 or $13.99, but if you see it for that price range, snap it up. You won't regret it. So Les Bon Temps Relais, a mighty fine, approachable priced brandy, and I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all go to the French Quarter and drink some Delacour brandy.